It's these Liverpool fans who gave us all this after I said PSG was clearly the better team and I thought they would win. These people were in our TikTok comments talking about, oh, stupid Americans, you don't know what a Champions League night is like at Anfield. Oh, you clearly never been to Anfield. Well, guess who's not going to be at Anfield anymore in Champions League nights? You losers. You.
Your favorite podcast, man, the Sports Podcast.
I'm talking to the camera.
In the world, we're here.
Welcome back to another episode of Fried Footy Champions League edition. Y'all know what it is. The three TV producers. I, myself, Rodney. I got Chuck and Brad on the screen with me. You may have seen our work on ESPN, HBO, and Vice. However, y'all know what it is. We're here talking footy. The number one game we've got to start and talk about is PSG Liverpool. That was the matchup. And I'm going to give the floor to Brad because
let him do his victory lap.
One, to give him his credit, even though, he said it was going to be 3-1. He did say that PSG was going to win. And the reason we got to give him his flowers, regardless of the accuracy of the scores, because they was coming at us crazy on TikTok.
Here's the thing. I don't want to take a victory lap over you guys. I feel like you were reasonable.
No, we're good.
You knew. It's these Liverpool fans who gave us all this after I said PSG was clearly the better team and I thought they would win. I think that was obvious, but these people were in our TikTok comments talking about, oh, stupid Americans, you don't know what a Champions League night is like at Anfield. Oh, you clearly never been to Anfield. Well, guess who's not going to be at Anfield anymore in Champions League nights? You losers. You. Enjoy the Premier League championship and just know that when it came to competing against the top teams, you had nothing.
Yeah, it was bad.
Mo Salah crumbled. The Ballon d'Or out the window. It's gone. It's gone. Two non-penalty goals in the whole Champions League run. Two. So I'm sorry. I don't know anything about football. I'm just a stupid American. And I've never been to Anfield.
I would say you're really right. Mo Salah, he had two great opportunities in the first half. One wide. I was like, damn, you normally get that. He just wasn't the Mo Salah we have been raving about all season.
People had the bar high. I mean, higher than my hand even in this camera. High in terms of where we were potentially going to rank Salah's season amongst not just Premier League, not just England, but amongst the greatest seasons in the history of this sport. Y'all are telling me this guy was, the best in Europe. And and he really didn't perform, shout out to Mendes.
Yeah, I mean, I think to Rodney's point, like, if you want to be the greatest, and in this game, that's what Mo Salah's trying to do, Liverpool's trying to do, have a legendary season, you have to win in Europe too. I think, honestly, we need to have a conversation about Nuno Mendes. I think he's the best defender on earth. And I want to know, well, let me ask you, wait. Mo Salah has been having a Ballon d'Or season. Mo Salah, 2 games in a row, and you both told me that Mo Salah would not get bottled again, and he really did. Yes, he had 2 chances in the first 10 minutes.
No, he didn't.
He got bottled.
Especially when it was Mendes' fault that they scored game 1 anyway.
I did a whole thing about that.
Best defender in the world is crazy. Just even off the strength of, I think a center back is going to be more important than a left back or right back regardless. So I'm always going to take Van Dijk or Saliba.
I think what he did to Salah is the single most impressive individual performance. I don't know what you're pointing out that Salah did that much better in game 2. Again and again in the rest of the game after those first 10 minutes, Mendes had Salah in his pocket. He was stronger than him. He was faster than him. He just bullied him off the ball. Every move Salah was making, Mendes read that ahead of time. I don't know if we watched the same game because I was incredibly impressed.
Honestly, just
no
PSG Liverpool. I don't think because the first game you didn't see anything change in the second half. We all watched.
I saw something change on the last play.
Bro, at this point, Europe is. I'm gonna start trolling you because Europe, and that's what we're doing.
The thing is, you came in, you were right, and you still got to push the envelope for a whole new thing. Like best in the world is crazy. If you even if you want to say that he had the best individual performance one-on-one with someone,
fine.
I'll let you have that.
Yes, no one is denying that. But this whole he marked him. Stop it.
Come on, man.
There's one other little thing from the game from after the Liverpool game that I thought was worth looking at, which was Van Dijk, after losing in his own house, was seen in the bowels of Anfield talking to the PSG owners. Look at the way he looked. Look at Van Dijk. He'll look back at the camera like, oh, someone's watching this? and he keeps going because he knows what's going to come. Do you think there's a chance PSG was recruiting Van Dijk there?
Sure, why not?
I mean, yeah, there's a difference between do I think that they were recruiting him versus do I think he's going to PSG. I mean, I'm sure that there were, that's probably the one chance they have to talk to him face to face without his agent being around. Like, sure, I mean, who wouldn't? I guess, but like, that doesn't move me to think that he's going to PSG next year.
Well, he doesn't have a contract for Liverpool, and after the game, he said, "I don't know what's going to happen next season. If anyone says they do, they are lying to your face."
No, for sure, but he also was quoted earlier, like on one of the people saying that this isn't Ligue 1. Like, he doesn't respect Ligue 1 as a league. Like,
if I were him, though, I might want those days off that you get in Ligue 1. When you play like the 17th best team in France, and it's not the same pressure you have in a Premier League game where they were like down to Southampton at the half.
And a little loser mentality. Come on, bro. He's trying to play against the best, man. And they still beat Southampton. Come on, man.
Yeah. Right? Remember when he was in the group chat, like Southampton?
Thirsty for that. He was thirsty.
I wanted that. Speaking of losers, Atletico Madrid took the L at the hands of Real Madrid in what was such a crazy game. Vini's penalty, I feel like he got saved by the way those pens ended up, because the way he skied that penalty was pretty brutal after Mbappe won it. What did you guys think of Real Madrid's performance?
Man, this game ending in penalties the same way that the Liverpool match also ended in penalties. It just made me think about penalties in general, just the general concept. And it's interesting because penalties in the moment are very exhilarating. Like, it's a lot of tension, it's a lot of pressure. But then when it's over, it's kind of like when after you get a little post-nut clarity. I got some post-penalty clarity, and I was just like, I wish that didn't happen. I actually wish that the game ended on a goal. Like, it was great in the moment, but then afterwards, I felt very unfulfilled. So I just don't love it.
Would you have felt unfulfilled if it was Atletico winning and not Madrid?
No, I would have felt the same. It wasn't a result-based thing. It was just the general idea of penalties. It's not the first time I felt it, but it's the first time I've been able to articulate it properly.
Okay, what about Barcelona? Because obviously, they had an easier draw with Benfica, so it's not like they were tested really well. But they passed. They looked great. They won the first leg with 10 men. Rafinha got another 2 goals this week. Do you think he's moved into the prime spot for Ballon d'Or?
Yeah, I think if he wins the Champions League doing what he's doing now, it's probably a wrap. I don't think there's anybody coming up like who else in the Champions League of the other 7 teams, or even on his team, like who else?
Mbappe. If Mbappe has a run to the finals, he can win.
Right. So
if Bayern Munich has a run to the finals, I think Harry Kane would have a strong case.
So Harry, Mbappe. So there's maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah, and they have an easier draw. Like, they're not going through Real or Atletico. They're not going through PSG or Arsenal. Like, they've got a pretty chill ride to at least the semis.
How do you see things working out going forward? Like, to me, I think it's going to end up being Real beating Arsenal. I think there's like a 0.00001% chance that Arsenal beats Real Madrid. And that's only if Saka comes back.
And that means Arsenal has like a 50% chance. Continue.
Oh, yeah, because I was real wrong in this last round where I got both those right. I'm talking about that.
Okay.
If it's Real Madrid versus PSG, what would you guys take there?
In the semis, the battle of Mbappe.
Yeah, boy, that's a great narrative, isn't it?
I go. Wow, because this is funny because the same way I believe Arsenal and Atletico Madrid kind of like are the same team where they like defensive kind of park, boom, have your just try to get your kind of shots with the one. I think that's the kind of similar. PSG and Real Madrid are kind of like this. Hey, this front attacking 3 or 4, depending on Madrid, when they add Rodrigo and whatnot. And the same thing is with PSG. So they're very similar. I'm gonna go with the hot hand. So I'll go PSG.
Yeah, I would go PSG as well because I think they have a decent advantage in midfield that I think I underestimated. If I'm betting, though, I'm taking Barcelona to win the whole thing just off the strength of I'm just looking at the seeds. I'm just looking at the matchups. I think they have the easiest walk to the final.
If you show me odds, I might think differently, but strictly off of like 1 through 8 right now, Barca is once again.
I don't think they're the best team. I just think that they have the best road to get
Well,
there.
that's what I'm saying. I don't even know who I think is the best thing because I could make probably a case for 2 to 3 teams. But Barca, if we're going resume and what they've done and draw moving forward, I think that it's safe to say they got the best path.
Yeah, it looks like we're having an Ousmane Dembele revenge final potentially. Like if they can get by Real Madrid, it'll be him versus Barca, who Barca paid $100 million for him, and then just threw their hands up and gave him to PSG. And if he wins the Champions League, Ousmane Dembele, I think, is going to win the Ballon d'Or.
Hold on.
I think if he's winning Ligue 1, which is not nearly as impressive as La Liga or Premier League, but if you're taking PSG from where it was at the start of this year and the goal-scoring form he's been in, scoring the most goals in 2025, I think he's got a real shout if they beat Barcelona. If Barcelona wins, hard to not see Rafinha getting it.
This is one of your actual better takes, that if Dembele gets all the way and wins it, because I think he would have put himself at the forefront of everybody's mind. The goal scoring, I think, has made people who watch soccer be like, I was here. He's been, a couple weeks ago, most goals scored in Europe. He's kept that form. And if he keeps this form on this stage, Champions League final, I don't think there's, especially scoring, like he scores a goal in the final, they win, wrap that thing up and hand it to him.
And can you imagine what that's going to feel like for Mbappe? To know you left PSG, he thought I've been good to you guys. I stayed a pretty long time. You know, we had some good years, and they skyrocket without you. That's crazy.
Yeah. But listen, there's a world in which he's holding the Champions League final, having scored the goal. Like that's what I'm saying. There's him and Dembele are on their revenge tour in some sense. One is gonna get it earlier than the other, but it could happen for either one. So I'm interested.
Yeah, I just feel like Mbappe's revenge tour just like hasn't really started. You know, he didn't do anything in this past matchup for real. While Dembele was key, you know, in both games he was super key.
Doesn't Mbappe have a hat trick in the Champions League game? He
did. And you know what? Against Man City, which like hurts me to say, not that legit of an opponent, unfortunately.
All right.
They're not legit.
Remember what I said? Remember when? Okay.
Listen, you were right.
All
I
right,
went down to the ship. I was the guy
Man
in the
City,
Titanic with the violin, continuing to play as Man City was sinking. It is what it is.
All right, Chuck, watch this. So, Brad, where's Man City finishing in the Premier League this year then?
In the Premier League, I think it's different. Now that Man City can focus all their attention on this, and I think the FA Cup, I would say, let me see, they're 4 points behind Nottingham for third. And
You talking about 4 points behind? Look at all the teams right next to them. You were looking at the wrong stuff.
Nah. They're not dropping out of the top 5. It's just a question of where they're going to finish in there. I still think Nottingham dropped.
So it went from top 4 to top 5. Let's just keep that in mind.
Yeah. It's
it used to be they're not finishing out top 4.
Europa them.
No, apparently this year the 5th spot is a champion.
Yes, they added that champion. Yeah, I saw that.
That might come really clutch.
Oh, that's okay. So the Premier League got that because wasn't they deciding which league?
Yeah, I think the Premier League got it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
that's what's up.
So I'm gonna say Man City finishes third.
All right.
You saying they're gonna catch Nottingham?
Yeah, Nottingham's gonna finish 5th. Chelsea finishes 4th.
Whatever.
You going down on that Nottingham Titanic too?
I'm going down with that ship.
You resilient. I'll give you that.
For sure.
You guys want to take a little trip to the rumor mill?
Always nice.
All right.
Do it.
The first rumor we got is going back to Madrid, and this is from jornalista Anton Mena, who claims that Mbappe and Vini are not on good terms at Real Madrid. According to him, the two superstars, quote, fake brotherhood on the pitch while they clash off the pitch. They say they're unhappy with each other and the duo cannot even stand each other off of the field, and they're saying that it's affecting them on the field. Is this a rumor that you guys believe?
No, and I love how anytime like one of them doesn't score or like it's not they're not having like the best games of their lives. Now they hate each other, but then when they do score, they love each other. It's like, do they got no better tabloids in Europe than like men don't like?
They're not doing Team Z right over here.
Yeah, like men don't like each other because men don't talk. Like I don't know. I need something much better than like I need like. Give me a text message. Give me some shorty.
Give me a mutual woman.
Yes, Rodney hit it. Give me some shorty screen recording Vinny talking cash about Mbappe. Then I'll believe it. Until then, like
at least give me a subtweet. Give me a like. Give me something on social media. Like
well, the one little detail they also give is that Vinny quote just does not accept that Mbappe, it's his team now. That Vinny still feels like it's.
You're the one who kept telling us that it was Vinny. Like you,
I'm reading the report.
I'm just telling you when we were talking earlier about like who you were like. This is Vinny's team. Yeah, everyone knows this is Vinny's team. So what had changed?
Well, I will say in the game that we witnessed this week, Mbappe winning the penalty.
Okay.
And Vinny coming right over to take that penalty and hit it to the moon.
Okay.
And then Mbappe taking the first penalty while Vinny was on the bench.
Okay.
I do think that creeps us a little closer to slipping away.
I love that. So the coach taking Vinny out ultimately because let's say
took Vinny out 1 minute before penalties. That was like a little rough.
Once again, I get that, but like your whole thing was everyone was fatigued, right? Like I just don't.
If you take him out 1 minute, it's because you don't want to take another pen.
I just wonder in all of this, like, because soccer is a very international sport. I wonder how much the language barrier has to do.
I want to say I was
be honest. I don't think either of these people speak the first language that is English. I think they both speak their native tongue.
French and Portuguese, respectively.
I've heard them both. They're both super fluent in Spanish.
Yeah, all right. Sure. All right. Next rumor.
Yeah. I don't know if we can verify that.
Yeah.
Next rumor.
All right. The next rumor we have is going out to Arsenal, and the rumor is about William Saliba, and people are starting to question if he's looking to maybe go somewhere else. Currently, at Transfer Market, he's the highest valued defender in the world at 80 million euros. This is what Saliba had to say when asked about it.
Not the best defender, though. That's Mendes.
Signing that, they were very nervous about you signing that previous contract. I think they're, again, quite nervous about whether you'll sign the next one. Can you say anything to help ease those nerves?
Well, me, I'm really happy here. We have 2 years on half as well. So, yeah, there is nothing. I'm happy here and I want to continue here.
Did that sound convincing to you? If you were an Arsenal fan, do you think you're going to be able to retain the highest priced center back in the world?
He from Brazil too, right?
He's a Frenchman.
Oh, he's French. But where he really from?
I think he might be from France.
Google real quick.
Yeah, Google real quick.
I think he's from France, like how like I'm from America. I'm not really from America, but
Okay. No, I didn't know.
I don't think he has like a.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
Giannis vibe. I don't think.
Yeah, I'm just curious. Maybe he had an Mbappe.
His father is Lebanese.
There we go.
Mother is from Cameroon.
Thank you. Charles knows these things. I can see these things very much. So, Rodney, I know you could too. I'm very disappointed in you for that one. But yeah, listen, man. The Arsenal thing is very interesting. It's very, very interesting because perpetually being number 2 must stink. So what do you do? And when you are in a position where he is, there's probably greener pastures. So the question becomes, do you want that or do you want to kind of take Arsenal over the top? I don't know nothing about Saliba to be like, this is what he wants. So it's kind of hard for me to not use my projections, and my projections always say, go for the money. So Arsenal, we're out of here. I don't think he.
But I think Arteta and Arsenal in general, having so much emphasis on defense, I think that they'll give him a blank check. I think he's one of the few guys on that roster who they would hold in that high of a regard. He's in his mid-20s. He's entering his prime as a center back. Some would say that he's overall, pound for pound, the best player on that team. I think Arsenal would probably kind of crumble a little bit if he just left. You know what I mean? And because there is no suitable replacement for him. You know, so I think they would give him a blank check. So I don't think money is the issue. I think, to your point, Chuck, it's like, do you want to be the guy who maybe has to go through some more L's and struggle, but you get that one trophy and it means that much more because Arsenal hasn't had a trophy in so long? Or do you kind of, you know, Kevin Durant it a little bit and you just go somewhere that you kind of fit in and it's, you know, it's just more chill and the money's similar? I think if I had to guess, he would want to stay at Arsenal. I think when you're that close, I think that you want to try to get over that hump. And also, shout out to Saliba. I like the shape up. Good job.
Good shape up for sure. Great fade too. High top.
You know, the European folks be very hit or miss. So big hit. You gotta show love.
If I'm Saliba, I'm leaving Arsenal, and I'm not thinking that much about it. He's got the choice to go to any club in the world.
That's nasty work.
Well, you have
and you said he can get a blank check at Arsenal, but Real Madrid is going to give him the same blank check. And honestly, I'm definitely betting on Real Madrid to give me more trophies, more glories. I think if he was like Saka, and he came up with Arsenal and he's like a London lad and he's been there for all his life, this is not his city. This is not really his team. Like, I think he can.
For Real Madrid, it's definitely not going to be him. So, like, what does that mean?
Real Madrid is every great footballer's team. People dream of being in Real Madrid.
But there's very few people who, when we think of Real Madrid, we associate them strictly with them. There's a lot of great players who have played for Real Madrid, but there are very few who are like, those are Madrid players. I don't know.
And also, this convo is approaching levels of writing that I don't want to get to, because now we start getting to a point where, let's just get to the easiest situation. Let's get to the best team so you can. What happened to grinding? What happened to perseverance? What happened to taking a couple L's and coming out on the other side on top? Like, what happened to, like, what
I laid out a scenario.
As a culture, as a sport, as people who love competition, when we're promoting people just going to the best team because they're the easiest route to championships and rings and blah, blah, blah. Like, do we not want competition? Do we not want teams to be good across Europe and they play each other in the Champions League and we see who's actually the best? Why do we want to see 3 teams, have all the talent and no one can go to Arsenal or no one can go to, I don't know, whoever else because historically, or whatever, or they don't have the best team right now? Like, what happened to grinding? What happened to staying low and building? Like, you two are married men, and you're telling me they may want to go
literally. First of all,
y'all know about building. Y'all know about grinding. Like, what's going on?
First of all, calm down. Secondly, I said if he doesn't want to be perpetual to, and if he wants to take them over the top, he should stay. I laid out a scenario where he stays.
You also laid out a scenario where he goes. I grouped you with Brad.
Listen, why did you group me with you? Exactly. Thank you.
How many L's do you want him to take? He's been doing it.
24. Relax. Like, you're acting like.
That's why I said he has.
Like, chill. Like, he's got 10 years of being very good at football before he has to make some final life decisions on his last couple of years before he's retiring.
On his
legacy. Like, geez, like, give him a chance. Damn.
And like you said, the contract has 2 years. He can wait and just then leave for free. There's options. There's options.
All right, the last rumor is going out to Atalanta, and it's that the coach, Gasperini, now wants Ademola Lookman to be his captain. And he has flipped like a totally 180. It's crazy. He said, quote, he made Atalanta great, and Atalanta made him great. And from now until the end of the season, he will also be able to wear the captain's armband to signify that Atalanta has it tattooed on his skin.
Beautiful, bro. Racism solved. It's a lovely time. What a time to be alive.
Like I said, he still ain't apologized yet. That's all I can take away.
He can apologize in private. You know what I mean?
The disrespect needs to be as loud as the whatever the fuck saying is. But my point about this is that it's too late, my boy. It's too late. Like, you should have been tried all of this stuff. And why would Lookman want the? How many more games are left in this season? What are we doing?
We got 10 games left.
Man, get the fuck out of my face, man.
If I was Lookman, I would be enjoying the hell out of watching him dance, though. I gotta say.
Dance monkey.
Yeah, basically, Flip the table.
Hey man, yeah, I love growth, man. You know what I mean? Shout out to the coach. You know what I'm saying? Who said you can't teach an old dog new tricks? You know, he saw the light. He saw the wrong in his ways. You know, he said, you know what? Color doesn't matter. He doesn't see color anymore. All he sees is wins and losses. So you know what? Shout out to the coach. Love that for him. Wish we had that some over here in the States. Love that.
He had one conversation with the owner, and that old dog learned how to beg. All right, you want to give some big ups?
Let's do it.
Rodney, you wanted to shout out, was it the Man U owner?
Oh, yeah. For a hot second, I was wondering who I was big upping, but I remember now. So I'm going to big up, you know, what some say the most storied franchise in all of England, you know, across all the sports, Manchester United, you know. Similar to the you know, monarchy, you know, it's seen brighter days, you know. Now, you know, Manchester United isn't exactly, you know, pulling the same strings, you know. They don't have the same aura, you know, as the kids say these days.
The aura.
You know? I saw a report that Tottenham was bringing in more money than them now. So it's different times in 2025. But you know what? Who better to explain it than their chairman and owner himself? Brad played a tape.
Yeah, you're
Is this
Sir Jim
Radcliffe? Oh, okay.
Yeah, Mr. Radcliffe. Yeah, talk to him.
Manchester United would have run out of cash by the end of this year, by the end of 2025. What we want to do is invest in the best players in the world, if we can, rather than spend it on, I'm afraid, free lunches. But the losses are because the club's just been spending money needlessly. We've got a body language consultant. You know, there's all sorts of stuff we're spending money on that we don't need to be spending money on.
Not gonna lie, my
my
man basically doged Man U's fine, and I'm like, oh Jesus, it's real bad. It's not bad because he's a team legend, so it's different. It's not like he's just some random foreigner coming in and then ruining the budget. So that I'm not too worried about. But calling cats free lunches is hilarious, and the British know how to insult. If there's one thing I will give them, they know how to insult. Shout out to the Brits, man. Shout out to the Brits.
He's not a team legend. He just ran a chemical company and bought the team.
Well, I mean, he's a team legend. He owns a team.
He's just the owner. He's not a team legend. He bought it 5 years ago.
Well, he's a team legend. He owns the team.
That's not what legend means.
With my parts, you own it. You a legend.
I mean, yeah, owning Man U is legendary.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, that's legendary. I don't know if he's a team legend. However, I just want to, you know, pour one out for the Man U we once knew, because they over here penny pinching, budget saving, cutting coupons. It's rough times over there.
free lunches is hilarious though. Like
Yeah,
that in
no free
itself,
lunch.
calling cats free is like, hey, that's a legendary quote in itself. Like put that on. You know how you guys said when we won, when we tied with Man City, that was the banner.
Yeah.
No more giving out free lunches. Radcliffe banner today.
No more free lunches.
No more free lunches. Banner today.
Yeah. I want to big up this British journalist who takes his integrity very seriously and was not letting Mikel Arteta get away without answering his questions. This was after they drew to Manchester United.
And do you regret not signing a striker in January? Perhaps that extra player? No, it's not about that?
No, it's not about that.
Okay. Mikel, one more. I have to ask you about the title race, because it's 15 points now. Is it too much? Right.
It's too much.
No, was the response, I think, to the question.
Yeah, poor Mikel Arteta. He can't get away from those two questions, and I feel bad for him because like second place has never looked so bad on a team or a coach. I've never seen anybody get this much problems for second place. That's pretty good in general, right?
Well, not when you keep coming in second. Like, that's kind of like to the Saliba point, like perpetually coming in second and go do something to you. But I think it's actually the did you get a striker in January question that is actually really, really pissing him off, because I'm sure in the back of his mind or his heart, he kind of knows they're right. And that probably stinks because, yeah, like the title race is all but lost now. But there was a very good, like 2-3 weeks ago where we were like, hey, what could, and you literally just did not go get a player, like, and you have the injuries. This is not a well-oiled team that is healthy, and no, you kind of just the bed. So I think he's a little hurt, and I would be hurt too.
If I were him, I'd be upset because I'm like, why are you asking me, bro? I don't sign transfers. That's not what I do. I just make work with what they do. Speaking of like up top, they'll ask the executives, like, get out of my face with that. Like, because what's he supposed to say? Yes, I wish we signed a striker, like, and undermine his boss. Like, it's a backhanded question. Like, he can't even answer it honestly. So of course I would be annoyed if I were him. I think the second place question is what is a little more bothersome to him because that is more so in his direct control. That is something that has plagued him for many months at this point.
I'll give you that.
Like whether they got a striker or not, they probably still would be in second, to be quite honest. So and when you follow up you're in second and it's now 15 points, like we don't have anything else to talk about. Like what do you want to say?
He knows how many, but he ain't stupid. He checking every morning. He checking the table every morning. But he probably has to feel a certain way that like, yo, I have all these injuries and they didn't get me. Like he can only control what he has to work with. So like your point, he ain't get the striker plus the injuries. It's all bad for him, man. It's all bad.
Yeah. Chuck, who you want to big up?
I'm a big up FIFA. I seem to be the guy who loves administrative people these days, but big up FIFA and their new World Cup trophy. As you guys know, the World Cup will be on North American soil, America, Canada, and Mexico. And because of that, FIFA representatives, president have lovingly come to the United States and showed our commander-in-chief the brand new FIFA trophy.
I'm just waiting for all the droves of people coming over in Europe thinking they're about to go to New York City for the FIFA World Cup Championship, and we're going to say hello and welcome to the New Jersey Transit. That's the transit, the public transportation and the traffic are going to have people never wanting to come, like
when they go to Philadelphia and they have to get on SEPTA, oh my God.
Yeah, we're going to have people in Philly and New York, and I think there's some games in Kansas City. Kansas City is getting
Do you know they shot someone after a Super Bowl parade a year ago? Like, oh my.
Yeah.
Like Europe, you guys thought you hated Americans, but get ready, baby.
Hey, wander on down to Mexico City, you make 2 wrong left turns, all of a sudden you're looking around, you're not at the stadium, your hands are up.
Your best bet is to stay in Canada, it seems. But I heard they running through the 6 with the Wolves. Like,
it's different. There's gonna be a lot of.
I just want to stay away from North America. If you ain't already here, don't come here.
Yeah, I feel like Penn Station coming back from NJ Transit at like 2 a.m. You're about to see a whole drug education video.
Why you think they made Moyen Hall? They was like, listen, we're gonna put a new face for this World Cup, baby. We're gonna put on a new face.
I don't know if they have crackheads like that over in Europe. Like this, it's a different level of intensity.
Whoa, slow down.
It's not all that.
Trust me, they got.
They're not maybe as bold. They have a little more shame.
Trust me, they got.
But they exist.
I'll never forget Rodney's first day with a bold New York crackhead.
Oh my God.
Bro, that shit was crazy.
I hadn't even been in New York maybe like a full week. Like I had just moved to New York. And so it's she. And we're riding, I don't know, some random. It's like the J train or some. I don't know.
Whoa, the J train used to do me right. To have some respect.
I don't know. I think we might have been on the 7. We were just on some nonsense train. Like something that was like above ground. You know what I mean? Like one of those. You know what I'm saying? So me and Brad are just sitting there, and this woman, I mean, she is on the train. I think she like goes from one car to the other. So she come and she's got the full body 90-degree angle. Like she is zooted and booted, and she is roaming around just kind of on her Walking Dead a little bit, just looking around. And I don't think I made eye contact with her, but she was black, and I was also the only other black person on the train car, so I think that's really what it was. So he came up to me about as close as this mic is to my face, and I'm talking to Brad, he's next to me here, this woman is here, and the sexual derogatory terms she was saying in verb form that she wanted to do to me was
tell me,
alarming.
Give me the YouTube version.
It was alarming. It was just a lot of things involving sucking, and it was a lot.
Yeah, Brad,
it was a lot.
As someone who witnessed my friend be too'd, what did you think about that situation?
I was kind of happy for him. I was like, Rodney got his cherry pop. Welcome to New York, buddy. It's like.
Cherry pop? That's never happened to you. What do you mean cherry pop?
Bro, when I was in 4th grade, a guy said, I'm going to stab every single person on this train, and then I rode right next to him for like 5 more stops.
I mean, respect, but he didn't look you in the eye and say it. That's all I'm saying.
I was next to him, but
Rodney said I was sexually harassed.
Right, that was
on
a
the
real
train.
intimate moment.
honestly, should have been flattered, if I have to call it.
And this is why they say men do not take these issues seriously.
Yeah, but nah, I do remember sitting there with him and like this was not fast. That's another thing to know. This was not like a 10-second ordeal.
Oh yeah, it was like a good 2-3 minutes.
Yeah.
Like me and Brad having a conversation, trying our hardest to not acknowledge her, and she's just going. However, 5 minutes after that, she knocked out. Like she kind of ran out of superpowers. But she had her ride. She had her run.
That sweet lady H is something different.
Now see,
Well, anyway, we got to heroin on today's episode, so that's good.
Why didn't you just keep it as Sweet Lady H? Why'd you have to?
Yeah, we can edit that out. It's a nice thing. That's all. That's about all we got today. Any last pieces of wisdom to leave with the people?
big ups Nottingham Forest. They beat Man City, and anytime Man City gets beat, we got to do it. Is there a video?
There is. Ola Aina
Run the video.
Run the locker room.
Run the video, man.
Hey.
We got the coach, Nuno.
That's when we were Man City beat. It's a good day. It's a good day.
Hey, smoking on that Man City pack is lovely. I just want to say something real quick. Tottenham, Thursday.
This is gonna come out probably after the game, but
it doesn't matter. If they do not advance, the next time you see me on this pod, it's gonna be a problem.
Who are they playing?
I couldn't even tell you the name. It's AZ. So I can't even pronounce the name. The team, they're actually ass. That's the problem. They're actually ass. The only goal was an own goal by Tottenham. It was 1-0. Some of the worst football I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh, yeah, they lost. Europa tomorrow. Wow.
That's what I'm saying.
It's the worst football you've seen in your entire life so far. It might get worse for Tottenham this year.
I don't think so, because at least the other team usually plays good. At least there's one team that's good and Tottenham's playing bad. I'm not saying it's the worst game Tottenham played, because they've had some doozies. I'm saying collectively, it was the worst band of football between 22 men at one time that I've witnessed in quite some time. And I don't know what Ainge is going to do. The whole squad is relatively healthy. Van de Ven's back. Romero's back. Wilson Odegaard's back. Son's there. Kulu's there. So we're going to see. But Ainge, if you care about your job, if you want to feed your family, you will win on Thursday.
You want to feed your family.
Because I don't know how long this salary is going to. I don't know if that check's clearing in 2 weeks if you don't win this game.
Yeah, Tottenham really testing those American fans. Haven't heard much from Ryan Cortez about Tottenham recently. Got pretty quiet.
Sorry.
But let them win. All right, fellas. Until next week. Deuces.